All right, thank you, Lane, so much for doing this virtual assessment with me today. I know with our first initial interview, it was conducted over the phone, but due to COVID, unfortunately, we can't meet in person, so we are meeting via the computer, and I'm happy that you have access to do this with me today. I know that this makes this a little bit more challenging, especially what you're going through, but we're going to make the best out of this today. So before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that all the information that you tell me is strictly confidential and will be used to help you achieve and get over this predicament you're in life. Do you understand that?
I do, Miss Nolan.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions so I can get a better understanding of what we discussed in our first initial interview. So just for clarification, why did you decide to contact the suicide prevention hotline for veterans?
Well, it wasn't the suicide prevention hotline. It was it's called, they have two hotlines. This was the Veterans Crisis Hotline for vets. So I decided to contact it because I was experiencing a level of anxiety affiliated with not being able to find employment or a place to live. And it just got the best of me to where, um, after speaking with a friend, they had me reach out to the Veterans Crisis Hotline.
Okay. Give me 1 second here, and if you hear some typing, I'm just taking notes down, so just give me 1 second to record these notes.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so you said that you reached out to the hotline due to a friend and to resolve this issue. Is that the only thing that you have tried to do to resolve this issue of having the unemployment, or have you tried other tactics as well?
What, to solve my unemployment issues?
Yes.
Yeah, I've tried reaching out to employers, following up after I've had, like, I'd say about somewhere between 15 and 20 interviews in the last 6 months to a year. And um, a lot of times employers don't let you know whether you're still being considered, or they don't answer your emails when you reach back out to follow up to see, with me, I was trying to follow up to see what my status is after the interview. And a lot of times, well, most of the time that is, they weren't responding to me. And I felt that that was very unprofessional. It made me angry. It left me in the dark in terms of, I'm thinking I must be doing something wrong. I've got to be doing something wrong. But you would expect someone to answer your emails or your phone calls, your voicemails, and they weren't doing that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand how that can be very frustrating, especially looking for a job during this time because everyone needs to have shelter, need to make sure that their basic needs are met. And I know that you've been having a little bit of trouble of getting your basic needs met. And you did mention that the situation makes you feel angry and feels like you're doing something wrong. Does this issue heighten any other emotions or feelings that you're having at this time?
Well, it doesn't necessarily heighten the emotions or the feelings, but it makes me afraid because I'm trying to move forward with my life and make something happen and start a career. I've gone to school. I've done everything to sort of prepare myself and, put myself in a position where I'm marketable and hireable by somebody. And then it seems like I can't seem to make it happen within a minimal or normal amount of time. And it makes me angry because no one's telling me anything, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. So I just need somebody to help me figure it out.
I totally understand and get that. I had a
It's
little bit of trouble.
frustrating.
It is
Yes.
frustrating. I had a little bit of trouble of that post um, college with getting a job and just knowing how that is. And I ultimately made the decision to move to get better job opportunities. So I definitely understand about obtaining the education and making yourself marketable so you can get the jobs that you desire.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and just move on from the cause of why we're having this second interview today. We're going to go into, so, and you said in your initial interview that you were homeless and sleeping in your car. However, your parents allow you to bathe at their home and they allow you to bathe at their home and let you care for your hygiene and eat. How does your living situation make you feel ultimately?
Well, my parents were okay when I got out of the military with me coming back home and everything because they felt that I was going to just go to school, get a job, and get on my feet. You know, I mean, I am 33 years old. It's time for me to be on my own, and I was for a while under the military care and working for the Department of Defense when I was in the Air Force. But once I got home, I was already accepted in college. I went and got my associate's degree, and then I went on to work on my bachelor's degree. And I thought that I could get, you know, some work, you know, once I was done, and my parents were okay with that. But it's been almost a year since I've been trying. So, you know, they get very upset with me because they sort of understand, you know, COVID being one of the mitigating factors in not being especially successful. But I'm depending on them for certain things that I should be dependent on myself for. So they didn't ask me to move out. I just felt like they just didn't, they were tired of it. So I chose to stay away as much as possible. So I stay in my car a lot. I go to the VA a lot. I hang out, you know, in places where I can be alone and just do my job search for jobs and stuff like that. And I go home to take a shower. I go to their house rather to take a shower and to use their computer and printer and things like that. So, I mean, being homeless is very depressing for me, and it does add to my depression and my PTSD. And it's also frustrating, and it makes me anxious because I'm really trying to make something happen for myself. Did I answer that the way you did? I answer that question?
Yeah, you answered it
Fully?
perfectly. It's not about what I'm initially asking for. It's about how you feel and what I can do to help you with this. And that was a great answer to this question. And I'm sorry that you have all of those um emotions right now. But I'm definitely gonna help you because that's what I'm here for. And I just want you to feel comfortable and feel open to expressing yourself in that way. Um,
Thank
you're welcome. So you said besides your parents, you go to the local VA a lot. Do you have any other local support here?
No, I just you know, I have friends, um, a few that I was actually on active duty with that I keep in touch with. Um, I was going to church every once in a while, but you know, I stopped because that really wasn't doing a whole lot for me in my spirituality. I just don't feel like I belong there right now, although I probably will resume going again in the future once I get, you know, a place to stay, a safe, permanent place to stay, or a temporary place to stay. And um, I have met some nice people at the VA who have referred me or recommended other people that work there to help me uh, with my plight in terms of finding a place to stay and helping me with my employment issues.
Okay, that's great. It's always important to have established support system. And even though you do feel like the church doesn't want you there, that's not the place for you at this time, just make sure that you stay grounded in your faith, because that's going to definitely help you get through this time. And, definitely try to reach out to someone at your church to talk to them. But I'm happy you do have the people at the VA that can help you with this journey of getting employment and securing housing, because I know that it's important to have other vets and veterans who can identify and relate to you with going through those things. So I'm happy you
Exactly.
have that.
I met this real nice lady who works and she's an employment specialist there, and she is also an Air Force veteran. We have a lot in common, and I was referred to her, and she reached out to an employer that I had applied for a medical support position in the VA, to find out what happened during the interview, if I was still being considered, how he felt about, my interviewing skills and techniques and everything. And she did find out that I was actually not interviewing properly, that my skills and techniques need to be honed, and she's teaching me a lot right now, and she's provided me with a lot of resources. I recently learned that it's a whole horse of another color when you're interviewing for federal jobs, as opposed to um, competitive employment in the community with community employers, and I learned that they look for performance and actions and results and things like that, and she's actually teaching me how to interview. So she couldn't have come at a better time. I'm so happy that I met her and that she's helping me.
That's great, and I'm so happy that you're open to receiving that feedback to help you with your job search. It's very important. Sometimes we hear things that we don't want to hear things that we didn't know that will be applicable into helping us. So I'm very happy that you were able to, step back and refrain and look at the situation and see that you do need to work on those skills, and we all have things we need to work on. So I'm happy that that employment specialist is able to help you with that, because that's very important, having those skills to conduct and be successful in an interview process. So we're going to keep on going on. We're going to move away from kind of that. So how have you managed to cope with all of this and keep going? Because I know this is a lot, but what have you done to be able to cope and keep going through this hard time?
Well, I do talk to a mental health provider at the VA. She's a psychologist, and I have another mental health provider as well. So I make appointments with them, and I go in and I sit and talk to them. And also, since I've met um, that vocational rehab specialist, the employment specialist, I can talk to her a lot about things, because she has been in the same situation that I've been in. She's been homeless. She's been in a position where she had difficulty finding a job, and had difficulty with finding federal employment, which was really truly her goal, which is truly my goal at this point. And like I said, we have a lot in common. So what keeps me going is the fact that failure is not an option for me. It's, I know that I have a lot to offer in terms of, myself as a person and what I have to give. And what really drives me is being able to help people and provide a service that, satisfies people's needs. And so I'm basically a strong woman anyway. I came from a strong family, and those particular um, attributes are sort of embedded in me as a person, as a woman. And I know that I didn't know it was going to be this difficult, or this long interval of time in trying to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. But I know that some things take time. So I'm just trying to work on my patience and my tolerance with all the systems and, the bureaucracy, and try to seek help. And, what keeps me going is that I know that I want to stay above ground to make a difference in people's lives and my life. I want to be successful.
I definitely understand that and can identify with that. Even though I'm a little bit younger than you, I'm still, going through the motions of things and trying to make the best out of my life and achieve all of my goals. So I know, like, when things don't go in our favor or we feel a certain way about things, it can be discerning. But if we just stick to our values and our goals and our morals and we just keep pushing, we can get through anything. And I'm definitely one of those kind of people who believe that failure is not an option either. So I can definitely um, reconcile with you and agree with that.
Yeah.
And you're doing very great in this process. So thank you for your time. Um,
You're welcome. I like your pink hair.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna try to get through this process because I know that you probably have other things to do today, but I just have a couple more questions for you. Um, so Besides that, are there anything else that think of a time maybe before this where you've been through a hardship or sometimes when you were in the military? I know being in the military, there's a lot of tragic things that can happen or very like unpredictable things that can be hard. What are some other things that you may have done in the past to help you cope with going through a hard time?
Well, just serving your country can be a very difficult thing to do. I did it out of sense of pride and patriotism and dignity, and also to achieve the GI Bill, which is basically paying for my education. I did uh, withstand a lot of, I guess you would call it opposition in the military, especially from my counterparts. And there were a lot of times when I would be approached with sexual harassment, um, men just, thinking that it was okay for them to talk to me any old kind of way or say whatever they wanted to say to me or, make me feel as though I wasn't safe or that I wasn't going to be okay. And I withstood my ground. I never allowed people to treat me the way that they thought they could treat me, so I still have that same mindset because I learned that early on, in my 20s, is people will treat you the way that you allow them to treat you. So right now, when I sort of compare that to what I'm going through right now in terms of making uh, my career start up the way that I wanted to, and finding a place to live and all that, I'm just moving ahead, keeping one foot in front of the other, keeping my head up, and just telling myself every day when I look in the mirror that I can do this, that I can do this, just like I did my military service and was honorably discharged. And even though, I was up against, opposition, and I won't go into a whole lot more of it, but because I really don't like to rehash it a lot. But I know that I can do this, and all I need is help. And I'm going to just keep reaching out to the people that I know that are there, that are willing to help me, and continue to propel my life forward, because that's what I have to do. That's what I want to do. That's my dream and my goal. And I'm going to make it happen, one way or the other, with the peoples that are in my life and coming into my life almost every day to help me do so.
That was beautiful and well said. Uh,
Oh,
So let's go ahead and just move on here. A lot of these questions you kind of already answered through the process, so I'm not gonna um, have you do those questions. So what was your briefly, what was your prior employment before you became unemployed?
um, being as young as I am, of course, I haven't had that much employment in my life. I worked I worked in a hotel, um, as the person behind the desk when you walk in to rent rooms or suites or whatever, back in the day. Um, that was like maybe for a few months during say the late 2000s. And then I went into the military in 2011. So I'm sorry, what was your question again?
What was your prior job before you became unemployed this time? So
Oh,
what was your most
right, right.
recent position?
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
So while I was in the military, I worked in healthcare as a healthcare management journeyman. So, that was a very rewarding position for me. And I was in there up until 2015, from 2011 to 2015. And most of my duties were, with patients in the front office and providing support and documentation and dealing with over a million patients, records, maintaining them and making sure they were accurate and the integrity was there with them and stuff. So that was rewarding. And then when I got out in 2015, that's when I went to community college to work on my as- uh, uh, Associate of Science degree. I started out in hotel technology because I had worked in a hotel prior to the military, and I thought maybe that might be something that I would want to do, in terms of administration and stuff. But then I changed my mind and decided that criminal justice was the way that I wanted to go because of the law enforcement problems we're having today and all that stuff. And I like sociology and, homeland security and things like that. But while I was going, that was when I was working uh, on my bachelor's. And then when I started my Master of Science degree in criminal justice, I decided that that I wanted to do a work study. So the VA offered a work study for me, and that was from late 2017 to like the middle of 2018. And then that particular work study program was a part of my education process, sort of like an internship or a practica or whatever. And that ended. So once that ended, I just continued to pursue my master's. And so it wasn't that I was fired or anything or um, that I left, in bad standing or anything like that. The work study program just ended and I just didn't go back to work. But believe me, I've been trying to get a job since I obtained my master's degree.
Gotcha. So just for clarification, earlier in the interview, you mentioned that you had the associates and a bachelor's, but you also have a master's degree as well.
Yeah, I have a master's degree. I got it from Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Okay. I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia. That's very funny. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
born and raised there. I'm not really fond of Liberty, but good school to get a degree from.
Yeah,
Um,
I did it online though. It wasn't the same as being there, but yeah, it was a good school. I enjoyed the matriculation online. It was good.
that's great. So, was your bachelor's degree also in criminal justice as well?
It was. It is. It's a dual degree. Criminal justice, law enforcement technology, with a minor in sociology.
Okay, cool. I was a sociology major in my undergrad, and now I am majoring in social work,
That's so cool.
my master's. So, yeah,
So
that's very interesting. All
that's good.
right. And so you
So
said
you
like you go
so
ahead.
you see why I'm frustrated about not being able to find a job, but I think the situation is that I have all this education and no experience. And
Yeah, that can.
a lot of people are looking for experience. So I got to find just the right employer who's willing to give me a chance because I have a beautiful, diverse skill set, that comes along with my education. So, and a lot of technological skills and problem solving, time management. I can do the whole Microsoft Office suite. I have a great work ethic. I have all that. So it's like, hopefully that'll all come into play with an employer who's willing to give me a chance to kick off my career.
I definitely feel and definitely understand that for us millennials, it's kind of hard for us to get a job without experience, and they expect us to have so much experience. So I definitely get that.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and just move on here. So you said that your ideal position is just serving people. Do you have a specific ideal position, or you just want to be able to serve others?
Since I've been involved with the VA, I have sort of developed a passion, both from being a veteran and from learning that there are other people just like me, um, who have incurred the same hardships, the same problems. I would like to work for the Department of Veterans Affairs, doing something with them. And once I met my vocational rehab specialist, my employment specialist, that just sealed the icing on the cake. I know that's what I want to do. I want to work at the VA to serve veterans.
Okay, that's beautiful. I love hearing stories like that
Yeah.
where you're
In
inspired
some
by different hope.
capacity, probably like outreach or administrative or medical support or something like that. I would like to do that. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, we're gonna kind of hop over the board here. This is just a out of place question. But what do you do when you start feeling anxious? Because I know you said you had issues with your anxiety and your depression and your PTSD, but to me, what strikes out the most is your anxiety. So, what do you do to control that, or what do you do when you start feeling that um, emotion?
Well, to begin with, my healthcare provider, one of them, prescribed me a medication for that, but I try not to depend on big pharma to totally assist me, with my mental health issues because I am aware of what the anxiety is. I'm aware of how it can affect me. I know it when I feel it, when the onset, when it's coming on, and I stop. I've gotten to a point now where I actually have taken responsibility for my mental health issues, the depression, the anxiety, the PTSD, and I either go for a walk or I call a friend. I meditate. I'll also do yoga. Um, if I have to, I call my mental health provider and go in and sit down and just vent uh, to whoever will listen, just to get it off my chest, kind of thing. And then sometimes I just go to sleep because I don't want to feel it. I just want to forget it's there, go to sleep, wake up with a fresh new outlook, and just start all over. So that's basically how I deal with it.
Definitely can understand that.
I'll even read a book sometimes or watch a good funny movie or whatever it takes is what I do because I will not because I know I can't afford to allow it to overtake and control me, if you understand what I'm saying.
I can clearly on that. So I totally get that and understand that because sometimes, it's just best to distract ourselves from losing ourselves. So I definitely can feel that and understand that. So let's see here. Just
Do
give
you
me
have a whole lot more questions?
we just have a couple more questions. I know that you have other things to do, and you're giving me very thorough, well put answers. But you don't have to give me such broad answers if you don't want to. And if you do, that's totally fine. Whatever works for you. So I'm just gonna ask you like some personal questions about yourself and how you feel about yourself. Before we do that, I have one more question to ask you, referring back to our initial interview. So since our first initial meeting, have you had have you been having any success in advocating for yourself at the VA to help you obtain employment or get responses from the numerous interviews you had? Why or why not?
Have I been reaching out, you said, to?
Like, have you had any success in advocating for yourself at the VA to help you in your uh,
Oh,
employment process or get responses from these numerous interviews? I know you
yes.
mentioned that the vocational specialist has helped you, but is that the only success that you've had, or have you been able to get the responses that you desire?
I'm getting the responses now only because she's helping me to navigate that, to from a professional standpoint. Like, she's helping me compose emails. She's helping me to create uh, letters to employers using the verbiage that I need to use, keeping it on a professional level, to extract the information that I need from them to determine what it is that I need to work on or correct so that I won't continue to repeat it and not have success. So basically she's my rock right now. She's the one that's actually guiding and directing me through this process because she has all the tools and resources that I need to assist me with propelling me forward. And she's a great teacher. She's patient, she's kind. She will do a video with me if she needs to, if we can't meet face to face. If not, she'll schedule me when she's at the VA because she's working from home. She's teleworking, but she will come into the VA just for me. And we meet face to face, wearing masks and socially distanced. And so, yeah, that's, you know, to me, that's all I need right now is the vocational assistance from the
Okay.
VA. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. Just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure. Um, so these are just like some fun little questions about yourself and to tie up the interview. So once we
Oh,
keep
wait a minute. One more thing I forgot to tell you is that I did go to the Department of Labor. I did go there because they have veteran specialists in the Department of Labor. But basically, all they do is provide you with job leads. They don't do the interviewing skills, techniques, and everything else that you need to present yourself and communicate, present yourself to and communicate with employers. So yeah, I have reached out to the Department of Labor as well.
okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm
All right.
happy that you're, using all of your resources. And,
Yeah.
I'm a resource, and there's other resources in the community to help you. So I'm happy that you are using all of the resources you can. That's very commendable of you.
Mm.
So like I said, these other questions, we're just going to finish up the interviews, about 5 more questions. Like I said, these are just about yourself, and how can I help you and things like that. So basically, and I know this might be a broad question, but if you can, you can give me a simple answer or you can give me an elaborate answer. Again, it's whatever you feel. Overall, what do you want to achieve in life?
That's a broad question. Initially, I would like to kick off my career, have a good job where I can actually pay my rent, buy food, clothes, take care of myself. Um, I might even want to retrain, like on a part-time basis, if I should get into like a service or clinical or administrative field with the VA, although I don't think I need to because of my skill set. Um, I want to ultimately think about a relationship, maybe even having kids, because my bio clock is ticking, and I don't want to rule that out so early in my life. I want to use the rest of my GI Bill to purchase a home, and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. So kind of like the American dream in a sense.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Definitely could understand that. I kind of went backwards in the American dream. I'm having a baby soon. but you know, everything happens for a reason. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I definitely still want to achieve some similar things that you want to as well. So I can definitely understand that. So these questions are just for me to get to know you more personally. Like I said, do you have any special talents? My special talent is that I am double jointed in my right arm, and it looks very gross, so I'm not going to show you. But that's my special talent, and I'm really good with kids.
Oh,
What is your special talent?
my special talent is that I'm a great cook and I can sing and dance. So I love to sing, and I love to sing because music sort of does something for me, from a positive spiritual level. And it also does a lot for other people. So I'm thinking that maybe at some point, I hear the VA has like a music clinic. Maybe I can like sing for the veterans or something like that. So those are my special talents. I'm also good with people. I love people. I think people make me tick. I like being around people. I like making people feel good, making them smile, um, that kind of stuff. Those are my special talents.
Yeah, and definitely one thing that I heard you say was that you heard the VA has a music clinic. I do know that they have musical therapy there as well. And if music is something that you resonate with and it helps you, maybe you can see about going to musical therapy to help you with
Yeah,
your mental health, because musical therapy is very elaborate and official, and studies have shown that it can help people a lot who are going through things. So definitely use that to your advantage. Like I said, you have a lot of great resources um, in your corner with that. Um, so let's see here. All right, so I just have two more questions for you,
okay.
and these about working with me, because we're going to be working on this until you achieve your basic goal, and that is obtaining employment and not being in this homeless state. So how can I, as your social worker, help you achieve being the best person that you can be?
Well, maybe if you have access to some resources that I can use to find a nice place to stay, to live, as a base of operations, somewhere safe, kind of thing. And if you could also become and remain available to me, like if I need to talk to somebody at a moment's notice, of course, like not at 3 o'clock in the morning, but like if I need to come to you with something, I just want to feel comfortable, which I do already, to talk to you about things. Um, I just sort of maybe need a little bit of what do you call it? Like confirmation sometimes from you. Like I know I'm a good person. I know that I have a lot to give. I know I'm a sweet person. I know that I care about people. I know this, but it's sometimes nice to hear it from other people, and especially another woman, you know. Um, Anything that you feel would be good for me or advantageous to me in terms of what I share with you about my dreams, goals, and aspirations, anything that you have in your repertoire that you feel would assist me, I'd be grateful to hear about it.
I definitely can understand, like I said, and relate to that. And I definitely am here for you. You can call me whenever, not at 3 o'clock in the morning, like you said, but whenever need be, I'm here to support you and help you get through this journey. Because, like I said, I know this is a rough time for you and that you just need those positive affirmations. I'm a big person on affirming people because I work with children and children need a lot of affirming. And I know adults need just as much as affirming as well. And so just me being empathetic and sympathetic to your needs and
Mhm.
what helps you tick means a lot to me. And so I'll be more than happy to give you these affirmations. And like I said, you did great during this interview process. You were very vulnerable and open. And I know that your vocational specialist will kind of teach you how to function that professionally about being yourself and showing people who you are, but doing it in a professional format. So you did great with me. So hopefully she's helpful in helping you master that because that is something kind of hard to do. So my final question for you, because I know we've had a lot of questions, but do you have any questions or concerns for me currently that you feel that you need to address before our next phase in this process?
Um, no, I don't have any questions and concern except what is our next phase?
Okay. So I can definitely help you with that. So basically the next phase in this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to con- consult with a couple of my other colleagues. Like I said, this information is confidential, but I will use what I need to help you in your job search. I'm probably going to reach out to your vocational specialist just to see exactly what she's going to do and consult with her as well as the other social worker and your mental health providers because I do have all their information um, in my file for you. And we're going to make a plan of how to get you what you need as soon as possible. And this might be a little more rough because, like you said, COVID-19 is a precedent thing right now. And unfortunately, we don't know when that's going to end. And a lot of crazy things are going on in the world right now.
I know,
Um,
and that's frustrating too because you can't really feel comfortable, when it comes to what's out there. Sometimes a job might look good, but then I might have a problem with being in that climate, being around, in that culture, kind of thing. It's difficult.
I definitely can understand that and reconcile with that because usually in this process it's a face to face type of thing, and it's better to be face to face to feel people out and to be comfortable with them. But like I said, we're gonna make the best out of this. So from all this, I just want to thank you for so much for your time today. I will be following up with you next week if I do need more time or if I don't need as much time. You will definitely know. Like I said, please feel free to call me. You have my contact information. If anything that you feel that you answered in this interview, you want to change or go back on or whatever, please let me know. Um, and like I said, we're gonna go over a plan to help a job that best suits you. This may not be like your ideal career, it may be, but whatever it is, we want to be able to help you um, get out of this predicament and propelling forward and achieve all of those goals and aspirations that you have for yourself and bring out the wonderful aspects that you have within yourself that I was able to observe and that you were able to share with me. So thank you so much, Adeline, for your time and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'm going to go ahead and stop recording this um, interview.
You're welcome. Thank you for helping me.
Awesome. All right.